Joined by Na'eem Jeenah of the Afro-Middle East Center. Na'eem, thank you so much for your time. We start with this now, just basically explaining what seems to be the structure of the Iran-Oman deal.
Yes, so the deal was signed today. They haven't made public what the clauses of the deal are, what the details of the deal are. So we're going to have to wait most likely until tomorrow. But the way that it's been going thus far, it seems clear that one of the things would be, as you said, induction, that going forward from now, there will be some kind of regulated passage through the Strait of Hormuz, both in ships going in as well as ships coming out, done together, the Iranians and the Omanis. The one big issue that we're not sure where that will go is the question of whether there'll be any fees that will be levied.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was getting at. If the United States will allow Iran getting the tariffs for the use of the Strait, your opinion on that?
The United States, frankly, has no, to use Trump's term, has no cards in this matter. They haven't been able to bring Iran under their control over the past few months. They're not going to be able to do it now. It is because of the United States that this situation has arisen. On the 27th of February, before the US and Israel started bombing Iran, the Strait of Hormuz was completely open for any shipping. Now the Iranians are emphatic that things will not go back to the 27th of February. In future, they will have some control over it.
Now, the position that the United States finds itself in, can President Trump, Donald Trump rather, stomach Iranian control?
Again, it doesn't matter whether he can stomach it or not. I don't think he's going to be pleased. But whether he's pleased or displeased about it, this is the way things are going to be, and he's going to have to accept it because, frankly, he's proven that there's nothing he can do to change the situation.
We move on to that part of things in Uganda. Now, if you could just break down in not too many words what the International Stabilisation Force is and whether or not it will actually be deployed.
So this International Stabilisation Force is one of the structures created by the deal that was signed in October of 2025, brokered by the Americans, by Trump, actually, when he set up this so-called Board of Peace. And so it's one of the structures of the Board of Peace. The idea is that various nations from around the world will contribute soldiers to this force, which will be completely accountable only to the Board of Peace, not to the UN, and basically accountable to Trump because he seems to be the king of this organization. And its function is, as it's laid out in the documents, a few things. One is to kind of maintain the peace. Secondly, to train a police force for Gaza. Thirdly, to ensure the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. And fourthly, to ensure the disarmament of the Palestinian resistance factions in Gaza. That's what it's supposed to be doing. Your question about whether it will be deployed, it's clear now that the Israelis don't want any such thing. The Israelis have even refused entry into Gaza of another structure created by the Board of Peace, which is the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza. They've been sitting in Cairo since January waiting to enter. The Israelis refuse to allow them to enter. So it's highly unlikely that the stabilization force will actually be deployed because the Israelis refuse to do that. Clearly, the Israelis' intention is to take over and control the whole of Gaza. And in attempting to do that, I think that we could quite possibly even see another war break out.
Quite interesting, rather, to also find out why Uganda is willing to actually get involved, as well as its relationship. A number of people would say it's a friendly relationship that Uganda has with Israel.
So Uganda has a friendly relationship with Israel. I think on this issue, they are more concerned about their friendly relationship with the US. The US, the Board of Peace Trump has been battling to actually get countries to sign on to it. None of the European countries, I think Albania or Kazakhstan, those two have signed on to join the stabilization force, but no major countries have agreed, including in the region. I mean, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc., that the US expected would join the stabilization force has not. And so they're quite desperate to get countries to sign on, and Uganda has agreed to go along.
Na'eem, thank you so much for that conversation. Na'eem Jeenah of the Afro-Middle East Center giving us a wrap of some of the stories making international headlines.